Let's bring in Professor Emeritus of Harvard University, Alan Dershowitz. Professor, thanks for coming on. I'm going to get started right here about that lawsuit brought by the victims of the Hamas October 7th attack. I personally think this is just step one, something that needs to happen. Tell me, can something like this lawsuit be successful?
It is step one. We are going to be engaging in massive defensive and offensive lawfare against bigots, anti-Semites, and potential violent terrorists. We're going to take many, many kinds of legal actions. We're starting a group called Heard a Jew, We Sue You, in which if you send us the name of a Jewish kid, it could be a Christian Zionist too, who was hurt by one of these bigots, we will sue them, and we will get their dorm rooms taken away, and we will take their cars and their boom boxes, and we'll bankrupt them. And I think the idea of suing some of these student organizations, look, Students for Justice in Palestine is a front for Hamas. Let's be clear about that. They do the bidding of Hamas, they do the work of Hamas, they implicitly recruit students for Hamas, and there's a statute on the books that makes it a federal crime, a serious federal crime, to give material aid to a terrorist organization. And if you give material aid to a group of people who are essentially surrogates of that organization, then I think you are subject to a lawsuit. We will do whatever is necessary under the law in order to bring these lawsuits, bring them successfully, and deter October 7th. Remember, there are people out there who have promised they will bring 10,000 October 7th. That's genocide. 10,000 October 7th is the end of the Jewish people. That's genocide. That's Hitler. And I would think that that begins to come close to providing aid and incitement to people to bring about an intifada, which they call it, in America. And I think it's coming to America. It's coming to a theater near you.
Well, it certainly is, and it looks like anarchy, at least just from my point of view here. But I want to talk, that was just the students. Next is the administration, and that's really what I want to focus on today. At least at Columbia, they knew, and I can say legally, Professor, they knew, according to the NYPD, by last Saturday that there were professional protesters, agitators on campus, and they didn't call in the NYPD for help until this week. Now think about that. These students, these kids, they were up there on campus around these people. Could the administration face consequences? Should that be what happens next?
Yes, I think so, and the faculty as well. There are faculty members who aren't outside agitators, they're inside agitators. They are what we used to call anarchists or communists. They want to bring down the government. There's a professor at Columbia named Massad, M-A-S-A-D. I don't know, he's a Palestinian Arab. Before he even got tenure, he called on a student. Student spoke with an accent. And Massad said, "Are you Israeli?" He said, "Yes." He said, "You can't speak in my class unless you are willing to admit that you're a war criminal or, you participated in war crimes." And Joseph Massad, the same professor, praised what happened on October 7th. And he's inciting students to go out there and do these things. That may not be enough for criminal prosecution, but it's sure enough for civil liability under the law of respondeat superior. That is, the university is responsible for the actions of its employees. And these professors, these bigoted professors, they are training, recruiting, and grooming Hitler Youth, these zombie-like cult people who are following every professor and every leader and chanting after them. And yes, I think universities can be held accountable.
And they're getting our children involved. These people are coming onto our campuses. They're not students, and they're tying our kids up in this. And maybe if some of the students get arrested, problems for the rest of their lives on their criminal record. I want to get to this, though, right now. This was Portland State University in Oregon. Some of the scenes from up there going after police. Let's look at it. And then we are about to see someone who has cut a trash can in half, ram right in to a police officer. Professor Dershowitz, that's assault. That is assault, and that is what has happened on our campuses here. There's got to be repercussions to these kids. No? Kids or protesters, whoever that is.
It's worse than assault. Will deliver knowing assault on a police officer. That is often a 10-year crime. And I want these people to be affected for the rest of their life. And I am going to publish the names of everybody who hurts a Jew or hurts a Zionist, and they shouldn't ever get a job. Would you want to be represented, if you were a client, by a law firm in which one of the lawyers defended rape, one of the lawyers defended lynchings of blacks? You would never do that. The same rules have to be applied to those who advocate the lynching of blacks as to those who advocate the lynching of Jews. And that's what happened on October 7th. And there's no difference, except one involves African Americans, one involves Jews. But the principles are the same.
I want to ask you about this, the dream, Professor, that American families have. Like where I'm from, Western Pennsylvania, you know, you save your whole life for 18 years, get your kid to college, you take them up there and maybe make their dorm rooms nice, you know, their apartment nice, get them ready. Everyone's so happy. It's a joyous occasion. I know I've said this before, but this is not what we're paying for, and this cannot be the way it is. We have to send a message, I think, to the country and to the college administrations. This won't be tolerated in the United States here. Your final thoughts?
And I think the vast majority of Americans understand that this is a symptom of a much deeper anti-American radical issue, that we are radicalizing a generation of American students through their bigoted professors and teaching them to hate America and teaching them to be open to the possibility that they too can become a Kathy Boudin. Kathy Boudin, back in the late 1960s, was a protester. Then she became a member of the Weather Underground, and then she killed 4 policemen, and then she got hired at Columbia to teach students after she got out of prison. We cannot see a repetition of that phenomenon in these days. It's too dangerous.